And welcome back to WDEF News 12 this morning. It is time for How Does Your Garden Grow? If you got a question concerning your garden or your lawn, hey, the expert is joining us this morning. Tim Holcomb from the Holcomb Garden Center, here to answer any gardening or lawn questions that you may have. 756-1212. 756-1212 is the phone number. And of course, what were you just telling me moments ago?
Well, with this beautiful weather, golf's okay, but working in the yard's even better.
Man of promotion. I love it. All right, folks, let's get right into our callers. Our first one is William. Good morning to you, William.
Hello. My question is, what type of flowers grow best in the shade?
Grow best in the shade. Well, for annuals, certainly begonias and impatiens are the number 2 and number 1 flowers. There are perennials that do very well. Some of the hostas and heucheras do very well. There's shrubs that do very well, like azaleas and rhododendrons. It just depends on what you're looking for, but shade gardening is very easy to do.
Our next phone caller is Art. Good morning to you, Art.
Good morning.
Hi.
We have a nice big Christmas cactus. They're all buds all over, but it never did bloom. What can we do to hasten that?
Okay, typically if they don't bloom, it means they're staying either way too wet or way too dry. Try to keep the moisture consistent. Don't let them stand in water. If the blooms just sit there and shrivel up and fall off, then it got to one of those extremes. But if it still looks healthy, they may open up yet. There's not much you can do to speed it up other than keeping it a little warmer than usual.
Our next phone caller is Pat. Good morning to you, Pat.
Yes. Do I trim back tame blackberries?
Well, you can trim back the old canes. The canes are coming up this year, though, are where you'll have the fruit. Actually, the ones that grew last year will bloom and have fruit on them as well. So unless they're really out of hand, I would not cut them back.
Once again, we're answering your gardening questions this morning at 756-1212. Brenda joining us now on the phone lines. Good morning to you, Brenda.
Yes, I'd like to know what you can grow in complete sun. I get like 8-9 hours of sun every day in my front yard. What would be a good thing to grow?
Well, you can grow just about anything. Are you looking for flowers, perennials, or shrubs?
Anything.
Okay. Well, most of the plants that we have available will take full sun. Of course, the big kicker is you're going to have to keep it watered in the summer, and that's even true in the shade because trees take most of the water. But most plants will do well in the sun. You'll be harder pressed to find shade plants than sun plants.
Debbie is our next phone caller. Good morning to you, Debbie.
Yes, I have some blueberry plants,
Yes,
and I'm
ma'am.
wanting to plant some grapes. How far do I need to plant those apart to keep them from cross-pollinating?
Well, first of all, they will not cross-pollinate. You can grow them together in that regard, but you want to keep them far enough apart that you can get in amongst them and pick them and take care of them. So at least 6 to 8 foot, you're going to put the grapes on a trellis, and you're going to have the blueberries just growing as large bushes, but they will not cross-pollinate.
Mo is our next caller. Good morning to you, Mo.
Hi, I have a question about when can I start growing roses? I want to grow them for my girlfriend.
Well, you can go ahead and be planting roses now. I mean, right now is the largest selection of the year. They've just come in, been potted up. You can get the hybrid teas, floribundas, climbers, or the ever popular shrub roses like the knockouts. If you've got some from last year, though, don't prune them until March and then start feeding them in April.
Our next phone caller is Dorothy. Good morning to you, Dorothy.
Good morning. I'm wanting to know, when do you fertilize strawberries?
We'll start fertilizing them about the middle of March. They should be actively growing then. They should be blooming and starting to really take off. We'll have strawberry plants available by then for anybody wanting to start a new strawberry patch as well.
Once again, answering your gardening questions this morning, 756-1212. Susan joining us now. Good morning to you, Susan. Hello, Susan.
Yes.
Hi, go ahead with your question.
How do you take rose clippings and root those so that you can plant them somewhere else?
What kind of beans?
No, roses.
Okay. You want to root roses?
Yes.
Okay, well, you can root them from cuttings. You need to dip them in rooting powder and keep them moist, keep them warm. And some are easier to root than others, but it can certainly be done. And you need to do that on young, tender growth that will be out over the next several weeks.
Wow. We put you to work this morning.
Good morning. It's a good day.
Hey, folks, unfortunately, we are running out of time. I know we have a few callers still left on the line, but, hey, feel free to call the Holcomb Garden Center. It's got 2 locations in Hicksville along Highway 153, 877-8782, or along Battlefield Parkway in Fort O, 706-861-4769, or we just make it easy for you. HolcombGC.com. Make sure you sign up for his newsletter, and for those I know you've had some recent rose carrying classes. Got any more coming up?
Well, the next one's coming up are about perennials for shade and for sun, and also about growing tomatoes in containers. Most gardening now is done in containers, so people can get the most yield.
There you go. Always got some classes and great information. So folks, stop by HolcombGC.com, and we appreciate you stopping by, Tim.
Thank you.
We're going to take a short break. We have a lot more to come here on WDEF News 12 this morning.